Welcome to Native Calgarian and Mossy for listening. I'm your host, Michelle Robinson, speaking to you in Mohkinstsis in the Blackfoot Confederacy, home of the Niitsitapi, Tsuut'ina Dene, and the Yiharhi Nakota. I talk about history, current news, unheard news, book clubs, with special guests to give local or national issues a voice through an urban Satu Dene lens. My life's work will be to honor the voices of my ancestors and next generation with humor, love, and truth. Reconciliation is work, not performance. May we honor all Indigenous voices with that courage. Today is July 22nd, 2025. Welcome to Native Calgarian. If you enjoy hearing Indigenous content by this Satu Dene woman, my Patreon account is Native Calgarian, where you can go and support. Thank you, previous donors, for showing your support. For those who cannot afford to give, I would love to hear from you at nativeyyc@gmail.com, where you can send in your questions or comments. Also, giving a review helps whatever medium you're listening from. I have a YouTube channel that you can go and subscribe. You can go to nativecalgarian.com for the latest podcasts and pin posts on social media. And always remember, share the things you learned to your network. Oki, naganago, mekoche, chistokomaki. Nara dago de decotes nagotine siku saradi. My name is Red Thunder Woman. My married English name is Michelle Robinson, and I use they, them pronouns. My Dene lineage roots me in the land of the Great Bear Lake Tribe in Treaty 11 in Delaney. I'm a native to Turtle Island, and my Dene nation is uninvited to this area of Clincho Tine Indahe in Satu Dene, meaning Many Big Dog Town, named after the Calgary Stampede. I was born in Calgary, or in Blackfoot, Mohkinstsis, as Michelle Elliott, an English name that has afforded me privilege in proximity of an English colonial world. Acknowledging proximity to whiteness is important because the darker the skin, the closer to whiteness, the more racism a person experiences in colonial spaces. My late great-grandfather is Milo B. Wool from Delaney. His daughter, Alice, is my now late granny. My mother and I are Northern Slavey Dene or Satu Dene, but my Indian Act Imposed status card by the Canadian government says Yellowknives Dene. Through my father, I'm a daughter of the Mayflower and a daughter of the American Revolution. Having a Canadian Indian Act Imposed status card is a colonial construct by Canadian policies meant to divide Indigenous peoples' inherent rights. Indigenous Two-Spirit, or the Indigenous 2S LGBTQ community, and Indigenous women are at the bottom of the Canadian socio-economic ladder because of colonial trauma, imposed poverty, racism, gendered violence, and land theft. I'm not a social worker. I'm not an elder, nor do I speak on behalf of all Indigenous peoples. I just share my journey as a newly ADHD Dene mom navigating this colonial, ableist, misogynistic, racist world in 2025. I think of all of this today, and I hope we honor the many Indigenous lives lost for the so-called country named Canada. I hope you see your role in the importance of stopping harm, and as a citizen, see your role in reconciliation and as a treaty partner. Land Back is a movement that could save the planet from climate change created by colonialism, but it would be a part of the treaty partnership, meaningful reconciliation, and honoring global initiatives like the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. I could tell you more as a former drafter, but you have to go to nativecalgarian.com for more. Well, today I'm lucky enough to have not one, not two, but three guests with me. So maybe we'll just start with you, Candi, and go across, and everyone can introduce themselves in their way.
Let's unmute. Hello. Thank you so much for having us on your podcast.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Introductions. We are Cardinals, kind of mixed Cardinals, but we're Cardinals. We are true Alberta girls, born and raised in Calgary and Edmonton, but we are from Saddle Lake First Nations. That's our nation. We just took a beautiful trip there, totally reconnected, and did their powwow this year all together. Us girls, it was awesome. Introduce yourself, ladies.
Hello, my name is Brooke. Brooke Allison Bousma Cardinal. I am a Dutch Cree woman. Born and raised in Calgary, about 50-50 split. I lead a double life between BC and Alberta. I'm 24. I do hair.
Oh yes,
I do hair, and I'm in school. I'm doing an Indigenous Studies certificate right now. I'm hopefully going to do a bachelor's later. Yeah, I'm really grateful to be here and thank you so much for the invite.
Honored.
My name is Turtle. I I'm 12, so I stay here in Alberta with my mom. Um, Irish, Scottish, and Cree, and so I 12, so I have to say it. So.
That's amazing. I'm grateful to have you here. Now, look at you all wearing these amazing sweaters called Moosebumps, and they say lovers, leaders, liaisons. You tell me about your sweaters.
I'm still emotional from your intro. Like I'm a self-proclaimed and well-known tough chick. I'm not anymore. In your intro, I was like, is this happening? Am I already about to feel it? So I'm gonna just say, while I gather myself, this Moose Bumps is a hoodie line that I created with my daughters. Lovers, leaders, liaisons is the remembering of who we actually are if you remove the anger and the trauma and the not feeling safe and the abandonment. That's where that came from. So I'm gonna hand it over to Brooke while I gather myself, and we'll talk about that like further.
Yeah, actually, Mom and I were really like having a heart to heart, just over like chipping away, having a heart to heart about Moosebumps over the last couple days and what it means to her, what it means to me, what we want it to mean to people.
How it started.
How
It's
it
so weird.
started, and just for a little bit of background, like my mom's had this Moosebumps inspiration for quite some time, and she's told me about, we've talked about it, but we never actually got the chance to have this heart to heart about what it meant to both of us personally and what it like the really the core of it all. And the thing that we were talking about that I got really excited about, and the way I feel like is a good way to represent Moose Bumps, is I used the metaphor of like a powwow. Because when you're at the powwow, there's so many different things going on. There's people laughing, crying, reconnecting, praying, dancing,
Judging.
tired, judging. Like there's so many different things going on at a powwow. And there's a spit, and like when it comes to like MMIW, Every Child Matters, the Crazy Indian Brotherhood, all these other different like movements, they're absolutely beautiful and they're so essential. However, upon being introduced to them, it immediately hits a place of grief. You're feeling those movements through a place of trauma, through a place of grief. You're really remembering how far back it goes. It gets you almost angry remembering the extent of these colonial policies and how they're still affecting. The thing I love about Moosebumps is it's like the part of the powwow where it's all the aunties hiding behind one of the porta potties or something, all smoking and laughing around because they don't want their kids to see them smoke. You know what I'm like?
They're being bratty without doing
Yeah.
anything detrimental to
Yeah,
themselves.
you're still at the community, you're still with your family, you're still participating, you're still at the powwow, but you're not crying in the smudge, you're not existing in that space of hurt. We can still, with through and with Moosebumps, we can still connect and acknowledge the colonial policy in the history, but it first and foremost it starts with a giggle and an opening of the heart space. And that's why Moosebumps is so big, because every single time someone sees it they go Moosebumps, and it gets you giggling, and now you and I are two human beings that are giggling at the same thing. We mean no harm to each other. You got it, which means we kind of were cut from the same cloth enough. Like it immediately gets everyone to put the barriers down and to feel safe with each other. And that like it's you got Moosebumps, haha, giggling, and then you go to the lovers, leaders, liaisons. What's that? And it starts a dialogue, and that dialogue, and this is a really really core part for me at least. The dialogue is not coming from a place of grief; it's coming from a place of healing and connection. And that's what I think our community and what everybody, like not just the Indigenous community, but as Western society, we need to learn how to plug back into each other and disagree, but still laugh about something. You know what I mean?
Well, do you see why I'm so glad that she's helping me with this? Because what like Moosebumps came from a slip. I was trying to say goosebumps and I said Moosebumps. I'm like, oh my God, Moosebumps. And I made a silly TikTok about it. My head was all small and I was talking about a hot guy giving me Moosebumps. And then I was like, that is so funny. then lovers, leaders, liaisons came with there was somebody that was, I think it was the Tanya thing about the beads. And I'm like, God, you guys are hatives. And then hatives came out. Like, quit being hatives, let people make mistakes without having to just annihilate them. Like, we're supposed to be in this together,
Yeah.
And natives are the best at making fun of, like, if we love you, you get teased. If we love you, you get bugged. If we love you, you get picked on a little bit. And that's cool. But I find lately, like, it's just taking each other down. Like, don't you dare make a mistake in front of a native. Are you kidding me? You're going to be a meme.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't like it. I think it's gone too far. Moosebumps brings a smile. I actually made a few of these just to try it out and brought it to Mexico and sold out in Mexico. The Canadians in Mexico were like, oh my God, I love it. And the first thing they would do is go, moose bumps. So right then and there, you're talking to me from an unarmed heart space.
Yeah.
And now we get to lovers, leaders, liaisons, right? And there's nothing negative in there. There's no opinion. Like, some people don't like natives. And if you're flying feathers, they're automatically gonna, but moose bumps is pretty,
it reminds me of like a dog whistle. Sure. Other natives are gonna see that and go, oh, community, oh yay.
No, man, and I disagree. Lots of non-indig loved that. They thought it was cute, hilarious, brilliant, funny. And you're wearing it here too, and they're like, oh, moose bumps. They make it kind of pervy, like, just whatever avenue you want to look at it. You're not looking at it from a defensive point of view.
Sure.
And that's where I was like, hey, this is something I can do because I don't want to be combative anymore. I'm like what we're talking about. There's a lot of energy and anger. You can get a lot done. I'll own that when I need to. This isn't one of them. This is just my little spark of creation. The chain is going to go around and around and around. I'm not trying to assembly line make these. I'm only doing 100 a year. Everything that we make just goes back into another order. I'm not trying to be Ralph Lauren up in here, but it's really like taken off. And like I said, just strangers that don't know me, when I was wearing this t-shirt in Mexico, and how happy, and how the other people in my apartment were like, that's Candi. She made Moosebumps. Like, they were just talking about it. I'm like, this is brilliant. And I need to like just expand on it a little bit without getting overwhelmed. Continue.
Yeah, no, I personally, I like that everyone wearing one of these is all connected by that same giggle and moose bumps. Like, whenever I see the word moose bumps, I think about all the times I've shared laughter with somebody else about this word. Like, it's in my opinion the perfect level of stupid.
I was just gonna say, no, Michelle, I swear, when she was talking, but I didn't want to interrupt. I'll go, sometimes we'll go, so dumb.
I know. And then I go, it's so dumb, but God,
So
it's
dumb.
so funny.
So dumb.
So dumb, but so meaningful.
Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
that's how, again, the indigenous humor, you'll get it and go moose bumps, and it might even annoy, so dumb, but you'll still feel the love with it. You know what I mean? We're not trying to.
Oh my God, Brooke almost had me in tears. I'm like, oh my God, the powwow can't be like that.
Yeah, dude, the powwow is like such a whirlwind of everybody on their own journey, crossing paths, and you're like, hey, wait, whoa, you're on that vibration, and you're okay. I need to go find where people are on my vibration, and it's always the aunties that are laughing around, hiding a cigarette really quick, making fun of their nephews.
Well, we just had a very interesting experience at this powwow, because I haven't been to a powwow since I was a kid, especially Saddle Lake. She's never been to Saddle Lake. And this one is like one of those indig on steroids. Like, she really knows her stuff. And I'm like, all right, take it easy there, super native, like blah, 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 right? No, I just, she really knows her stuff. And sometimes because of my disconnect, I feel intimidated by all that.
Sure.
What was it the other day? And I was like, don't explain things to me like that. I don't like that at all. And she was like,
but Mom, the Indian Act is the root of the cause.
You know what I mean?
It was probably one of those rants. I go on screw late stage capitalism rants pretty frequently.
But she'll say, you don't say that. You don't. And I'm like, I know you're not trying to, but there's a lot of shame in the way you just tried to explain that shit to me, and I don't like it. That makes me retreat back to every time I try to go around needles, I'm doing everything wrong, and you don't do that. You know how we talk. You don't do that. And I'm like, that to me hits me in a real huge space. It was about my hair.
I was gonna say
That's
yesterday.
right. I got my hair done, and this.
Can I? Okay, I want. Okay.
Okay.
My mom got her hair done, and it's like the most stellar, beautiful head of hair that my mom has gotten in a while. Like these foils are some Mac Daddy foils, man. Like I was getting jealous that I didn't do them. They're so beautiful. And my mom has like a little bit of a past trying to find a good hairdresser, ironically, as a hairdresser.
Yeah.
And she just couldn't. And the amount of times I've seen my mom be like, "No, I don't like it. It's
deflated,
just not
my
feeling
hair,
good,
yeah.
right?" So I'm blow drying her hair, yes, because I do hair too, right? I'm blow drying her hair, and I'm sitting there just admiring it. And I go, "This is really nice hair, Mom. You better take care of it." And she kind of looks at me and goes, "I'm a hairdresser. I know how to take care of my hair. I don't know how to take care of my hair." And we kind of had this moment laughing where I was like, where she made me realize, like, yeah, I did just imply that you don't take care of your hair. How unhelpful, and how punching down. Like, you're right. And her and I had this moment where I got to like flip into her point of view and be like, no, I wouldn't have wanted to hear that either, actually. And
I better take care of it. First of all, I'm an 18-year stylist. I go, you know what that feels like to me? That I may not be worthy to have this pimped ass hair. You know what I mean? It just immediately went to unworthiness. I'm like, so you've never, because she kept on going on about how beautiful my hair is, and then says to me, you better take care of it. Like, I can't wear that fancy dress without knowing that it's dry clean only. Sure. You better back off with that. So we have real honest conversations. And there was something else that happened. She goes, you don't do that. I go, I don't like that shameful talk to each other.
Sure.
You know, to me, it should have been, this is the nicest hair I've ever seen you have. You probably are so relieved that you found tea to do your hair. But instead it was like, and you better take care of it too. And I was like, girl, what? And we were in it, right? But out of love. But I was like, no, I don't want to speak like that to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what these hoodies are. Some big fat I love you with check yourself. You know what I mean? Check yourself.
And I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Check yourself.
Right? Because we're lovers, leaders, and liaisons, and that's what you are. You're 100% a liaison. You're the ingredient that's, the ingredient that thickens the soup, man. That's you can't. So that's me. I'm just I'm clowning with this. I'm not educated like you are. I could never be on your level yet with your knowledge, right?
I'll tell you this, and I'm just going to say this, especially in front of Turtle and Brooke. Well, sounds like Brooke's got it already too, and I'm sure Turtle's on their way. I've been in the rooms with Justin Trudeau, with Mark Carney, with people like that. And the truth is this, oh my God, I have a friend his night of. They don't know anything about us, yet are in this incredible position of power that, honestly, even if you feel like you don't know enough, you can still be at these tables and still be educating the people around these tables, because they have been purposely avoiding getting to know who we are, what we're about, any of the legislations that you and I have been personally affected by a million times. So even if you feel like you're at a kindergarten level, be at those tables, because eventually you learn and learn and learn, and I did. And so that's why I just, any Indigenous person ever listening to this, I want you to know you already know more by existing than any white person or settler in general.
Yeah, lived
you already know by just existing. I love it.
Yeah.
There's a big shift happening within Canadian academia right now.
Yeah.
Where for example, our uncle is completely skipping the second half of his bachelor's program and heading right into his master's, because that school acknowledges that he has almost 20 years of experience being a liaison with the community. You don't have to write me no essay to prove to me that you because it's lived experience. In my opinion, my experience is often more valuable than sitting in that classroom. Getting your hands on the ground, connecting with those elders, looking at those little babies, getting annoyed at the gopher holes in the ground, like all of that is the education.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that because you and I can tell we're kind of bookworms.
Yeah.
And just because we're bookworms doesn't mean that you and I have anything more important to say than these two. Like your
100%.
guys' message just comes through a different way.
Yep.
That's why we all
100%.
have our own gifts, right? Like we can't all be the most perfect native ever, okay?
No, and that's the whole
But
thing.
here,
Like, that is actually white supremacy and colonialism is perfectionism. So like
That purity, yeah.
yep, it is. It is. And so, I've definitely given myself permission to make mistakes and just be okay with it, knowing that it is, whether it's Ebonics, even like the way people police English, the way people police anything. It's like at the end of the day, I'm not supposed to be speaking English. We're all supposed to be speaking you're supposed to be speaking Cree. I'm supposed to be speaking Dene, and this podcast should be sign language.
Hand talk.
yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
heavy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, the again, this idea of Moosebumps came from so many different stages. And one of them was this summer, there was four of us native chicks that spent about 10 days together. My girlfriends came here, and then I said, if you don't leave on Wednesday, I'll drive you, because me, I'm just real clingy and lonely. I don't no, like they still sleep in the same bed. They try to sleep on the couch. No, 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 no. Like I'm just clingy and lonely like that. So we all took this road trip back to what's Lisa's reserve? Muskeg First Nation. And so there's 4 and 5 of us at times. And we all went to this store and got the same shirt. They were giving them away. And we all got the same shirt. So we were running around with the same shirt. And people kept on calling us a gang. And people like these old ladies at the restaurant comes up to me. She goes, geez, you're just bratty over here, right? And it was our laugh
Yeah.
in any restaurant we went. Us walking down, because I had a tire problem, so we were all hanging around this shop. Just the laughter, the t-shirts wearing together, the safety that I felt, absolutely no controversy, like no controversy. The things people say about us, I mean, we can be controversial, but that particular trip was full of love and making fun of each other, switching loyalties. One day you're the problem, the next day you're the problem. We're sticking up for this girl. And I was like, I love that we all, and all of our pictures, we all had the same shirt on. I'm like, I got to get on that hoodie. Like, I just love how unified that was. Now, these are all different colors. We have a red one as well. I made them a little obnoxious, and not every child matters, and not MMI. Not that that's not important, but I just wanted, for this particular thing, I just wanted you to look at it from this lens.
I love it.
Not that the other things are not important, but
Of course.
I'm like, this is Moosebumps, man. We smile at each other when we see this, and then we can get into it. Now, want to take the hoodie off and get deep, go right ahead. But can you not while you're wearing it?
Yeah, yeah. No, I love it. I love it. I want to ask Turtle, I know it can be intimidating having three people just like blah, 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 and I wanted to ask you, what does moose bumps mean to you? Like how do you feel even wearing that sweater?
Wearing a sweater on like a physical level, it's comfortable, but on an emotional level, I feel like when people first see it, they're like Moosebumps, and like it's just that like joint laughter between everyone. On the deeper level, it's trying to like it's like trying to take action for things that are going on a smaller level.
Love
Like
it.
even like you don't have, like if you're trying to support, you don't have to be doing these big, massive things, but even small little gestures can make a big difference, and that's what I feel like these hoodies are trying to tell people.
Well, the
Well
first
said. Well said.
Love
said.
that.
Here's a question people are going to ask you, because she's one of like, there's not a lot of Indigenous in her school. There is, but they always turn to her for Indigenous representation.
Yeah.
And she said to me, every time they say anything Indigenous, everybody turns and looks at me. And she goes, and I'm like, does it embarrass you? She's like, no, but it's like anything to do with Native, everyone always turns and looks at me. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, whether you want to or not, you're repping. So
Yeah,
Exactly.
and that's the thing, like that's the hard burden on all Native kids. And I remember that being it was the Mohawk Ganawage resistance during my high school. And I remember I was in Sea Cadets. So between the Sea Cadets and between high school, like it was hard to try to talk about that then and find the words. And I didn't have my mom and I didn't have my aunties or uncles to guide me at that time. So I had no idea how to even talk about it. And I literally just wanted to like hide all the time.
mm,
So yeah, it was a hard time. So really thought it was important for me to be able to empower my daughter to speak for herself, when talking about Indigenous issues in general, because I didn't have that. So to me, just like, first of all, even raising her was intergenerationally healing, but then to actually try to teach her about racism and colonialism and such, like, that was not something my dad taught me. That was not something my family taught me. And it wasn't safe to be fair, at that time. And to this day, my mom is still Catholic. I'm the first generation. Wear a kukum scarf, wear a ribbon skirt, talk about our rights, and stand up to it. So like, I hope you being able to speak for yourself at all is a massive, massive intergenerational healing. And so I'm super proud of you as your, unofficial auntie. But that bigger picture is that I always want you to feel empowered.
Mhm.
Yeah, 100%. I think where they feel the sting because they're like, whoa, we did, which is good. I'm glad that they're not carrying some of the weight that we have to carry. I'm glad they're not carrying any of it, actually. I'm sure they do, but where it affects them, where they like sink back, is when they see racial profiling towards me.
Yeah.
And so in our psychology appointment, my psychologist asked my daughter, "How does that make you feel when you see your mom being racially profiled?"
Mhm.
And we spent the whole session talking about that.
Mm.
So Brooke and I were talking the other day because recently, because I'm older and because I forget things and I'm trying to troubleshoot, I've started wearing a big beaded lanyard and I have a backpack. Now, normally I used to have a cute little purse. No, man, like I got stuff to do. Like
Yeah.
I'm backpacking it with the lanyard now. I lose my keys all the time, whatever. And she goes, "Oh, Ariel, auntie," and I'm like, straight up. And I go, and it caught me. This is my own trauma. This is my own
Sure.
whatever. And I go, "What do you mean by that?" She goes, "Just auntie with your backpack and your lantern
With your slides and your basketball shorts and your big beaded lanyard
and
and
my
your
and my
backpack.
high bun, you know." And I was just doing me. Like, excuse
Sure.
me. And she caught me in for a second, and I'm like, I've been really racially profiled in the past year,
Yeah.
like really bad. I go, "Do you think this is what it is? Like really bad?" And
Yeah.
she goes, "Well, yeah." And I go, like, I'm just looking super more native than I normally do.
Sure.
And like at the powwow, everybody made fun of my blonde hair. They're like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "It's gray. I blended it. Leave me alone."
Right.
I saw,
But I'm getting it from
yeah.
both sides. The natives
Yeah.
are like rolling up here with the blonde hair. And, everyone else is like, "Wow, look at this 6 foot native, Donkey Konging around Calgary." And I'm like, it's very,
Yeah. It's hard.
it's,
I know.
it's a little hard. So when my kids see me being treated like that, I didn't even realize that's where they feel that negativity. They don't necessarily feel it towards themselves,
Good.
but they see it with me,
You-
happening to me, and
What
my reaction.
I've been watching my mom ping pong back and forth between lateral violence and colonial violence. Lateral violence, colonial violence, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Yep.
And the only time that my mom, even from my perception, I mean, I live in another province. I don't know what my mom does 7 days a week, but over my almost 25 years, what I see is my mom only being able to avoid that by staying home and hermiting.
I know. The worst,
And
isn't
what's
it?
that supposed to do? So like
Yeah.
now my mom can't go and buy beads without feeling like she's not involved, or my mom can't go.
Because we did go buy beads yesterday. That's why she's saying that. Because I want to
That's my example,
bead the hoodies.
right?
But she knew her stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
in there, I was like,
Good
I
for
don't know.
her. No, that's great. And it's really great for, like, my daughter just turned 18, and I'm really curious to see, what direction they go in the world. And they look a lot like Turtle. They have, like, really light hair, and only they're super tall, like they're taller than me. So
She's almost 5'10".
there you go. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's so funny because, like, Sam, my daughter's name's Sam, and they, the doctors were always like, "Oh, they're growing so fast. They're growing too fast. Maybe you should quit breastfeeding." And I'm like, maybe I should quit coming and seeing you.
You're
Jesus.
one of those moms, aren't you? You breastfed till they were 4.
Yeah, no, I breastfed long, long. And then that's the whole thing, is that, like, I had to empower myself by literally avoiding doctors and nurses like bull crap, because they would never say that to anyone else, and I would just say, well, my dad is tall, that's might be where they get it from, and just to try to play it off there, which is true. Like, I'm not lying by any stretch, but like, it's just incredible how over policed we are. I always say we're underserved, over policed as Indigenous people, and I hear that coming from your stories, where she's being over policed and underserved as well. And it doesn't matter what we're talking about, education, health, actual police, whatever it is, right? Because of that stigma that's still so pervasive. So, yeah,
Well,
this is a positive moving forward. And I love that you're going to be doing some beating on some of the hoodies too. That's awesome.
no, I'm not.
I'm gonna teach her though.
I am not.
I'm gonna teach her. This one needs new crafts.
Yeah.
I want to say too, because you just gave me like a thing. Because I'm sitting here looking at us on camera, right? And the thing that is I guess I have to use the word intersectionality, but not that way. Like, more
Yes.
liberal intersection than
Sure.
right. But like, Diamond is like fully white passing. People almost don't believe her, right?
Sure.
They don't.
I'm white passing enough, but when I say I'm a Cree woman, people go, you know what? I can see it in your cheekbones. Like, they can see it, right?
Yeah.
My mom ain't white passing.
No.
And this is where the liaison part really, 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 really hits home with me.
Yeah.
Because I never, ever, ever had my family look at me and make me feel the need to hide being Native. I never had to thank God, never had the threat of getting sent to those schools. Never had the threat of someone harassing me and calling me a bunch of, I've heard it, but not to the extent that someone
towards me, not towards her.
But
Sure.
I also haven't experienced a lot of the racism in the same capacity.
Yeah.
People have outwardly said it to my mother's face. What happens because I am white passing is they say people will slight Natives to me, not realizing who they're speaking to.
I was just about to say that. I told Diamond, I said, where it's going to become difficult for you is when people are Indian and you're sitting there like I'm full status Native in this country. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
And she grew up about as much, I don't know if I should say this, but as much Native as we have left.
Sure.
Like, she has a kokum. She has an Indigenous mom. She speaks, Cree is being spoken in our family. And it makes me so sad that this is the last generation of full fluent Cree. My mom just lost her 3 friends that she would sit there and speak fluent Cree with them. And, they're all getting old now. And now we're like rushing to try to, how do we say this kokum? How do we, we have a legit, real kokum in our family. And she grew up with that. Do you know what I mean?
Good.
And sometimes it can, being white passing, sometimes it can feel like you're too white to be Native, but you're too Native to be white.
Yes.
So
My daughter relates to that. Yep.
Yeah.
And when people are saying well, I don't think you look like it can really take a toll on your self-esteem. You don't feel like you belong in either community.
Yeah.
Well,
I know.
I asked her at the powwow.
I hate that.
I asked her at the powwow. I'm like, because she was wearing a ribbon skirt and everything. And I'm like, do you feel comfortable in that? Because that was the first time I ever worn one.
Sure.
And so we're all walking in these ribbon skirts in different stages of being able to and I wanted to know for my own, I knew how I felt. And I'm like, I hope I'm repping this. I hope I'm vibrating the way I should be vibrating while I'm wearing this, because my very close friend made that for me. And when she gave it to me, I was like, when am I going to wear a ribbon skirt? And here I was needing a ribbon skirt and the perfect shirt. And then Diamond was wearing them that her sister made. So it was 3 completely different journeys. And we're walking. And I asked her, I'm like, do you feel comfortable in that? And she was just, yeah, well, why wouldn't I? And I'm okay, I'm leaving that alone then, because I don't want to spark any thoughts that you shouldn't feel that way.
Yeah,
You know
totally.
what I mean?
Totally. You know what I say a lot though, especially to people who are like, you don't look Native. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, your colonizers were rapists.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this you want to put on there. I'll just tell you. I grew up in a real weird, because my father has about 5 or 6 children from different Indian reserves. And I got contacted by a brother 2 years ago. And I was like, oh, this sounds like so-and-so. Let me guess. But the verbiage that he used in my language, or sorry, in my household towards me when he was angry was all racist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single thing out of his mouth
Yeah.
was blah 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 blah. But you
Yeah.
seem to, what's that word? Fetish.
Fetishize.
Yeah. You seem to really love Indigenous, but you don't. You think we're pieces. You know what I mean? So growing up with, my mother was the very first Indigenous flight attendant. So we're talking like glamorous.
Sure.
Back in the day,
The
it
babes.
wasn't, yeah, they were the
Yep.
babes in the uniform.
Her
and
nickname's literally Babe.
actually,
Oh.
on Satellite Cremation, her nickname is Babe. Like,
There you go.
oh, Babe's here. Yeah. So just this gorgeous epitome of a woman that didn't even have the self-esteem to go in and do that interview. It was actually a career coach that took
Wow.
her in and spoke for her because my mom was just so beautiful but didn't have the confidence. And they're like, yeah, we'll take that one. Not from any talent of her own, just because she was
So pretty.
good looking, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
but she took it and she lasted 45 years, retired with Air Canada.
Nice.
And so the women in our family like are really, really powerful, like
Yeah.
have powerful ideas and blah blah blah. And we're rolling with it, I guess.
I love it.
And
Okay,
I-
so I guess the question people are going to ask is, where do I get one of your sweaters?
One of these beautiful, delicious velour line
Yeah.
doubles. Like, can I for a second?
Yeah.
Because I had to look at my mom this morning and go, hey, as a consumer, thank you very much. Like, not even as your daughter, as a consumer, thank you very much.
Well, I
Yeah,
worked
hey.
hard on it and like designed it myself with the material and stuff like that. And I said to her when she was acting all like, oh, I was like, what do you think, I would make something like cheesy to put out to the world? No. You know what would happen? I'd be a meme.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel this. I feel this. Yeah, these sweaters are gorgeous. We were talking about this offline about the inside, the collar, and how it feels good for folks like me with neurodiverse
ADHD.
textures. Yeah.
So the inside is
Yeah.
all like that soft plush, kind of the way we all have our comfort blankets on the inside. I literally went, oh, Mom, like freaking out about it. Okay, my thing is aglets. If they're plastic, I'll chew them. I'll chew them.
Sure.
And there's these nice, like, they're like fully like metal. I wish I had like nails so you could hear the clinking, but
Wow.
they're like nice aglets. They're not gonna get lost and stuck in your hoodie. They're nice, like high quality grommets that aren't gonna burn a hole in the dryer because they're gross.
Sure.
The stitching. So my big thing again is the sensory thing is seams. I cannot stand it when the seams are rubbing on my skin.
Scratching you. Yeah.
They're so flat.
Wow.
And because it's that velour lining, they're not like, the threading isn't scratchy. Like
Yeah.
this is about to be my favorite sweater of all time ever.
Yeah.
And another sensory thing, I can't stand when my hoodies go like down here.
Sure.
And the fit, like I'm a long person. I got a wingspan on me.
Sure.
And the fact that it fits my arms without feeling like a dress is
Nice.
a game changer.
Oh,
And I don't wear a lot of color. I usually wear black. If I wear color, it's green or it's yellow. She fine gave me a sweater that isn't the most ugly shade of yellow I've ever seen in my life. I can wear this and be happy that I'm wearing a yellow sweater without feeling like a highlighter. You know what I mean?
It's got a little bit of mute to it. Yes, it's orange, but it's got a little mute to it.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is like really loud yellow.
yeah.
So yeah, picking these hoodies, picking who to buy them from. They're not, I don't like the word cheap. They're not, people I think might find the price, they're $80, and I only picked 80 because all of these are numerology price. So 80 is the infinite. These hoodies were a little pricey to order. So that's the price of them. You can get them from me. I'm just a little creator. I have a salon, so there'll be some of these hoodies at the shop if you want to swing by, or you can just order them from me. I'll send them to you. I got FedEx right downstairs. Easy peasy, or just like come see me. Come see me at the shop or order them from me. Just text me and we'll figure it out.
Well, another thing is a big thing for me is I hate when the hoodie is like too close around my neck.
Yeah.
Like the hood is like around my neck and it just makes me feel so uncomfortable. But with these, I don't have to keep like every 5 seconds because it just fits so perfectly and naturally around my neck. It's beautiful. It's lovely.
It's a hoodie that hoodies.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not swimming in it. I was actually, no, I was even telling my mom earlier, I was like, I feel like I could walk around the mall right now without feeling slummy, you know, like I'm in my PJs.
Yeah. No, it's a high quality sweater. I'm dying to go make a swing over to you guys and grab one. So
swing back.
Court's me, gotta lip off about everything. So I didn't realize when you order things that you have to pay for like on top of the price, because I said, give me the price, like no GST and everything, tax. I didn't realize that after that you have to pay customs.
ugh.
So
those darn tariffs.
It was another $140 coming through customs, right?
Jeez.
So I was annoyed to the lady and she's like, this is pretty typical from ordering. And I was like, well, I've never ordered. This is new to me. Like, why didn't you explain this? She goes, because we don't know what. This is for future people ordering stuff. We don't know what their customs is going to charge. It's not included. They don't tell us, blah, blah, blah. So I was kind of annoyed. And I was like, yeah, cool. Well, maybe I'll have to find somebody else who can give me full education. I got the hoodies and I messaged her. I'm like, listen, I'm really impressed. I hope you're not mad. I'm just learning. And she's like, it's fine. It's fine. But yes, of course you can order from me, but whoa, that was a lot of explaining, girlfriend. I'm like, I was new to this. I didn't know. I felt like you put in a hidden cost, but it wasn't her. It was, whatever. But yeah, it's worth it. I was like, the quality of these hoodies, and I'm a hoodie wearer.
Yeah. No, literally Lululemon stuff is everywhere, and I can't wear something like that. I can't support something like that. I need something indigenous. I need something that when I am just, going around Calgary, I can wear something fun. Like I'll wear indigenous creatures, I'll wear something else, earrings, or fuck Trump.
Yeah.
But that bigger picture, like I like to always represent in a positive, constructive way, and this is the type of thing I can do. So I love it.
Well, I didn't want to be cliche either and be like deadly, or do you know what I mean? That's
Totally.
somebody else. That's Bepsi. That's somebody else's.
Yeah.
Cute, funny. We get it. We all giggle. We all say it. We all, whatever. But I wanted to be original. It came from the heart. It was a slow roll of experiences that came together. And then I was finally like, I just had a chunk of change in my account. And I'm like, are you going to do it? This is your snake, girlfriend. You want to start something, start it now. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing the order. And we did it. And now I'm so excited it's here. I can't wait to get it on as many bodies as possible and get talking. And when people are like, oh my God, Moosebumps, boom, you're going to be in a conversation whether you like it or not. You're going to make someone smile whether you like it or not.
Absolutely. As for non-Indigenous, I just want to say this. You can buy these things. I just ask that you're going to be talking about this in a positive way about Indigenous people, hopefully pushing 94 calls to action, 231 calls to justice, or some other, thing that you feel you can talk about, because it is important for people to understand reconciliation means non-Indigenous too.
Reconciliation. I just saw that on your thing today.
Give me chills. When she said that, and I was like, because I asked her, can you go study her a little bit before you just jump on this podcast? And she's like, yeah, daughters. And so this morning she's getting ready. I'm like, did you go? And so she was cramming you.
Nice.
And I was like, whatever, like typical Brooke, right? But she gets it done. She's cramming you. And then she goes, I just heard reconciliation. And I'm like, who said that? Michelle? She's like, yeah. I'm like, this is my reconciliation. Like, I'm not standing at podiums. This is my reconciliation. And that just goes to show everybody can do just one little
so
thing.
Easy.
I know, so easy and so fulfilling. Like me and my girls doing this, who knows where it's gonna go? But we got 100, and just even 100, we'll be happy with that. But I know I just got this little feeling it's gonna be a little bit more. But even if we're still happy,
this is why I was using the like aunties sneaking off for a cigarette at the powwow thing, because. And I don't even know if you're doing you're doing it on purpose, but the way you do it is so magical. My mom is very, very good, very, very talented at making the women around her feel like they're seen and they're loved and they're cared for, and they're in an alliance with the other women around. Like I very, very, very frequently find myself hanging out with my mom, just being her mini me, and looking at the space that she creates for other women.
Nice.
our community needs so much of our women to come together. Stop fighting over who's the best fancy dancer. Okay, your
Mhm.
beadwork and your beadwork are both great. Oh, you both like it's and I think it's just like the indoctrinated internalized misogyny that makes us kind of subliminally compete with each other and we don't even realize that we're doing it. But somehow that level of indoctrination missed this one. She doesn't do that. It's and to see my mom encourage other women to stop competing with each other like that is very, 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 it's so beautiful. It's taught me very much about how to support other women as well.
What's my favorite line towards everything? Leave her.
Yeah. 100%. No, I love that you're saying that, and especially this week out of all weeks. I've seen Grand Chief Cindy Nippenack Woodhouse say some amazing things and have like our own people tearing her down. And I'm just like, I wish, like, leave her. It's just,
Leave
I
her.
got to start copying and pasting that. Leave her. Leave her.
Leave
Like punch up at Mark
her.
Carney, punch up at the corporations, but don't you dare punch at her.
I say it about, well, I've been in the beauty industry since I was in my 20s on the back end of it,
Yeah.
makeup, hair, models, da 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 da. And so I'm a two-time breast cancer, or I'm a two-time cancer survivor.
Wow.
And I made my journey so huge when I had to be bald and have one boob and get it reconstructed and da da da. And I've never felt more beautiful in my life going through that journey. And you're talking to someone who's been heavily hit with that beauty stick of beauty standard that was so unreachable ever. And don't worry about me. You know what I mean? I'm all good. So I always say when, especially I freak out of what my daughters are seeing. And I'm always like, if there's any sort of criticism towards another woman or any sort of, I'm like, oh, leave her. Even if she thinks she's a 10 and she's a 7, I hate that scale. But I'm just saying, people act too
Yeah.
hot. And I'm
Yeah.
like, leave her. If that's how she feels and she wants to present, who's anyone to say that she can't wear that or that she can't whatever? I just love it. I'm like, leave her alone. She's feeling herself, man. That's where I come from. And that comes from a journey of pain and who are you without that hair? Who are you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm still me, even better. But not everybody feels that way.
You're a lover.
Like
I'm a lover.
Sorry. But personally, like if I see a girl like real happy, where personally, I would much rather wear my beautiful Moosebumps hoodie, which feels amazing by the way, rather than hold a Stanley or some Lululemon leggings. But if I see a girl doing her thing, being happy, I'm not gonna judge her. I'm like, oh, you go, diva, pop off.
Who is this diva?
No, I love these girls because her birthday party was a Muslim girl, an Asian girl, a native girl, her two native cousins, and I was looking around at the adults that were there. I'm like, look at this table, like it's so beautiful,
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Oh my God, I love that so much. And that's what I think we should be doing. And it's you can't fight a colonial patriarchy if you're fighting amongst each other. So I'm so
Each other.
grateful to hear that. Yeah.
What did I say about this? I'm like, this little hoodie here is like a link. Like each hoodie is like a chain link, and we're just like this. I'm like, that's how I feel about it.
It's true. No, it's true. Like
all those dreams and experiences and giggles and goosebumps and all this is actually come to fruition on a hoodie now. And I can't wait to see who's buying them, who cares, you know what I mean? Who's I don't want to guilt trip people. You don't care if you don't.
I don't know, man. I have no problem telling people that they're weaponizing incompetence. Go ahead. What were you gonna say there, Turtle?
I just said if you don't buy our hoodie, then you don't care about us.
Just guilt people. Yeah. If you don't support, no, I'm not trying to go down that road.
Yeah. This just came to me right now. Moosebumps is anti crabs in a bucket.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like the opposite of crabs in a bucket.
Well, that's your next slogan, 100%.
Exactly. Like I feel like this is no cookie cutter, like exactly.
It's not cookie cutter.
It's original. It's funny.
Yeah.
Very comfortable. And
functionable, affordable. Keep going.
Accessible.
Not ugly because it has a beautiful yellow color that
You're
you
a cool
definitely
kid if
buy.
you wear one. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is my favorite. I can't thank you all enough. Is there anything else that you want to add for today?
No, I think we're good. We're so appreciative of you. I'm gonna continue stalking you. I think you got a couple months. I got another
No,
one
I'm
too.
like I have a crush on you academically, like, and
Yes.
like I was just even looking through your thing, and there was even a couple things that you were addressing on your TikTok that I was like, oh, I've been dying to hear someone's perspective on this. Yeah, go please, please.
Yeah.
Like it's yeah, you're like
To
you're
me,
my unofficial auntie now.
to
Okay.
me, to me, you have the I know we're on a podcast, so I won't say it. You have the big juicy kahunas to do what you're doing. That takes some
Some
and I'm
moose
just like,
bumps.
oh, I'm like this. I'm like this with my hands. Step on, girl. I'll lift you. Go say it. Like, that's how I feel about you. Like, woo!
Well,
I just
that's very
cheer.
kind. I definitely made a whole lot of mistakes to get to this moment, that's for sure. But I'm really grateful to be here with you all and have you tell me your stories and know that each one of you are welcome back anytime to talk about anything you'd like, anywhere. Because at the end of the day, that's what the podcast is about, is that representation we seem to never get on mainstream media. So we created it, now we're here, and
Yes,
now
I
we move forward.
love it.
Yeah.
You. Okay. Love you. Thanks for having us. Don't forget your moose bumps.
Yes, moose bumps.
We'll get you on one of these hoodies ASAP.
I love that.
You and your
Thank
family.
I love Indigenous Joy. Cannot thank those folks enough for coming. So the Reconciliation Action Group, obviously doing amazing work, putting out some really great info on a regular basis. We definitely want to support all of the local initiatives that are happening here. Yesterday, the city of Calgary did some sort of announcement about including some Indigenous names into the new communities that are going to be developed. So I'm really curious to learn more about that. But in the meantime, if you go to any of my pinned posts, you'll see a Zoom link to join my book club. And the next one is actually Hutta Enough. And it's George Erasmus' 50-year battle for Indigenous rights, forward by the Honorable Dr. Jody Wilson Raybould, of course. And for decades, George Erasmus has been led the fight for Indigenous rights from the Berger inquiry to the Canadian Constitution talks, to the Oka crisis. George's is a significant figure in Canada's political landscape. In the 90s, he led the Royal Commission on Aboriginal Peoples and afterwards was the chair and president of the Aboriginal Healing Foundation around the time that Canada's residential school system became an ongoing front page story. George's 5-decade battle for Indigenous rights took him around the world and saw him sitting at the table from prime ministers and premiers in the 80s. He was national chief of the Assembly of First Nations and was referred to as the 13th premier. This book tells a personal side of his life, leading and being an Indigenous figure, taking the reader into some of Canada's biggest crises and challenges. So I think this is really important. Obviously, he's, Dene. So from my point of view, this is like listening to family. So I hope people consider joining the book club, or if not, just getting the book and reading it yourself and then telling others and writing positive reviews. If you read an Indigenous authored book, I beg of you to put out a positive reflection of it, of something you've learned, in the hopes that one, you will inspire others, and two, just leave a positive review for an Indigenous author. Special shout out for the November book, Arc of the Medicine Line by Tony Rees, with all the stupid conversation going on about the 51st state. I think it's ridiculous. And for somebody who is in geomatics, I think it's undermining a whole profession there as well, let alone all of the work the elders did at that time. So if you're local, the Reconciliation Action Group has a bunch of non-Indigenous people trying to do the good work, right? And you're seeing us putting out good information all the time about whatever is happening. And my hope is that more non-Indigenous people will be inspired anywhere to start a committee, start a book club, start doing action, because action is the key part. And understanding that, the racists that are coming out, those are a big deal. Something that I just shared on TikTok that I would like to share here is something called the extinction burst theory. And it was an academic just talking about how right now you're seeing such a push against Indigenous people. And that's because of the extinction burst theory. And so learn about that and learn about why it is Trump wants to rename the Redskins back to the Redskins, why so many Canadians are trying to say they're Indigenous when they aren't. It's all about this same pushback of not feeling comfortable with the status quo, that there's a change in status quo. And we're at the point now we can't go back. We know now all about the stolen land, all about the unfortunate amount of Indigenous people that had to die in order for so-called Canada to exist. And so I think settlers are at a crossroads of understanding either we become good treaty partners or we're going to go down some kind of terrible road. And I want to give a shout out to Rachel Gilmore for covering white supremacy over the years, losing her job literally over it. And then the CBC came in and basically took all her information and wrote about it as well. But even she would say that was a good article to read. So by all means, don't feel like you shouldn't read it. It's just too bad they didn't credit her with all of her work. And the reason why I bring that up is because it basically outlines how many white males feel empowered right now to start a race war. So if you have any white males in your world, now is a really good time to start engaging with them and making sure that they are not interested in being part of a race war because it's unneeded, unnecessary. And just because settlers came to Canada and killed so many of us doesn't mean we want to do that in return. Land back is a movement about governance, about respecting the land. And I know that is the key issue that settlers don't understand is respecting the land. Um, Nobody wants to kick anyone out. That's why we are, obviously always advocating for refugees, for famine, for genocides that are happening, whether we're talking Palestine, Congo, Sudan, it doesn't matter. Like these are things we advocate for because we are for human rights, we are for humanity, we are for the land, we are for our four-legged relatives, our two-legged relatives, the ones that swim, all of them. So anyway, I don't want to go off sounding like some native elder that I'm not. And I will just say Masi Cho to my ancestors, to my granny, to my mom, what strength looks like through your example. I want to thank my dad for teaching me to be strong and blunt, my stepmom for showing me what a proud culture is with her Austrian family, and teaching me to be a proud Calgarian. I want to say thank you to my husband, Darcy. He has not just produced and edited this show, but he is my husband, my childhood friend, the father of our now adult child, and support down the red road that I've gone, but also what he's going through as well. He has witnessed decades of racism and sexism, and now we're starting to unpack ableism together. And to our child, we are blessed to learn from you daily. We are honored you chose us. You give me daily accountability to be a better and stronger person. My hope is my daughter and my family will be proud in the future of us trying to discuss these present day issues in a way that they understand down the road. I honor the Blackfoot. The elders, members have been so kind to me on my Red Road journey. Elder Red Crane taught me how to pronounce my spirit name in Blackfoot, and Leonard Kenny taught me how to pronounce my name in Satu Dene. My humblest apologies to all language keepers as I try to learn proper pronunciation. My Patreon account is Native Calgarian, where you can pledge and support. Thank you, previous donors, for showing your support. If you value listening or watching and can afford to give, thank you. For those who cannot afford to give, I would love to hear from you at nativeyyc@gmail.com, where you can send in your comments or questions. I also have a YouTube channel that you can go and subscribe. You can go to nativecalgarian.com for the latest podcasts and pin posts on social media. And, I just trying to do more Indigenous joy. And obviously, you just heard three amazing Indigenous women speaking their truth and trying to, bring love and joy to this world. And I love seeing more of that. And I think that Canadians are programmed not to seeing us have joy and laughter and fun. And so, to me, I think it's always important to highlight something joyful that has happened. So I just wanted to say that my child's 18th birthday happened, and seeing them, go into a legalized cannabis dispensary for the first time, because, I worked really hard at getting cannabis legalized with so many other liberals, and it happened for once. And getting to meet this man that worked there, that is just like one of those fellows that's been advocating for cannabis for like 50 years, telling her stories about my own father having a charge about cannabis and struggling to get work in the States because of it, and the visa issues that they had, and how she'll never have to do that. So for me, it's just a full circle moment of that's not going to be one of those things that she's going to have to worry about, unlike the previous generations. And so that makes me happy. Anyway, I'd love to hear more about your fun moments and things that made you smile. And I just always end every single podcast with those Calgary rabbits are lucky I'm not tradish. And my beautiful cousin said, "Are you be in my dish?" Thanks, folks, for listening.